Violet? You have a client waiting.
Violet Evergarden is, well, it's a hard show to describe. It's a show about letters in a society where most people can't write, bringing each handwritten letter a sense of romance currently missing from this world's post-war environment. From Kyoto Animation, its production quality is at a level rarely ever seen in television anime, and it features a protagonist for the audience to strap themselves into, to take them on their own emotional ride through love and loss. And with that brief introduction out of the way, let's jump into this soft launch of my new series Anime and Me, a place where I'll be exploring my dive into this world of Japanese animation, where today we'll be looking at the romantically empathetic series from Kyoto Animation, Violet Evergarden. Like always, spoilers ahead. Violet Evergarden began life as a light novel written by Kana Akatsuki in 2014. It won the first and only ever grand prize awarded for any category at the Kyoto Animation Awards. From there, the show was announced as being in production and went on to premiere its first episode at Anime Expo LA in 2017, which was a whole 6 months out from broadcast. For television anime, which is typically a very last-minute affair, this is really unheard of. But enough about its backstory. Violet Evergarden is a special show because just how it conveys its emotions through filmmaking. As well, it's very Western in the way it handles a lot of its filmmaking, and thus fits perfectly in today's international anime market, which is a real cause for the reason I would recommend this to anyone not typically interested in anime. Hell, my mum watched the whole series with me while I was writing this video and loved it. While the emotional core of the series is based around the anime original storylines, largely revolving around the backstory between the titular character Violet and her Major Gilbert, Violet's coming-of-age narrative over the series really works best when it intersects and focuses on the lives of others, instead of being the main narrative focus of the drama, essentially as adaptations of the original light novels. To help me explain some of this, let's look at 2 of my favourite episodes from the series, starting with Violet Evergarden is a story about writing letters, but not everything she writes has to be a letter. In episode 7, Violet instead scribes for a playwright, helping him overcome his own issues to write the conclusion of his latest work, and with itself being his own way of letting his dead daughter go. Honestly, the emotional arc of the successful playwright turning alcoholic after the loss of his family to illness, only to return once again, can feel somewhat built from cliches, but if it works, it works. And here it really works, with the music. This series was composed by Evan Call, who without this series would definitely not be the same. He originally won the work through composing the theme for Violet Evergarden for the original light novel's animated launch trailer, a great piece in itself which uses the typewriter as a musical instrument. And boy oh boy, did he do an absolutely great job here, producing one of my favourite television anime OSTs of all time. Also, apparently using one of the largest studios or orchestra ever used in background music in a television anime, according to Evan himself. The grandiose nature of this track in particular, Across the Violet Sky, is the greatest the soundtrack gets for me. While bits from its introduction are used throughout the series in the previous episodes, the best parts are saved for this very moment, to build up to its emotional impact. Also to point out during this whole emotional moment in the music is just how this scene is directed itself. This grand animation with sweeping cameras, its detailed designs, combined with brilliant storyboards from the director, helps mesh all elements of this moment together. And also, this cut. I just love it. This is without a doubt the most emotionally gut-wrenching episode of the entire series, and that's probably why I love it so much. If I teared up in episode 7 when Violet walked across the leaves, the floodgates truly opened here. It accomplishes this through one of the most relatable plots of the series by being a situation no one ever wants to actually relate to. During what are some of the last moments Anne has with her mother, she is instead sidelined to write a letter for a mysterious person, later revealed to be herself after her mother's passing. In addition to this episode's script, its direction is top tier within the series as well. Showcasing the passage of time through simple fades, bringing the emotion of Anne closer and closer to the inevitable with each person gone, not to mention the shots of... There's no need to investigate who their most recent mentor might have been at Kyoto Animation, who herself has also storyboarded episode 5 and didn't pull out any stops of her recognisable style. Anne kidnaps the POV of the camera, shaking when she's upset and reacting to her movements, while being impersonal to all other characters to help us connect with her situation even more. Visually sidelining Violet to help bring the emotional gut punch of the moment that's yet to come. While its plot can be a bit predictable at times, this episode lands right after the completion of Violet's emotional arc in episode 9, allowing her to go all out here in a way we haven't seen before. Her final outburst within the postal company isn't just the final emotional blow of this episode, it was placed at the exact right point in the story to showcase her evolution from soldier to a fully self-functioning, emotional and loving human. From acting doll-like and suppressing her emotions while working on the job, to finally letting everything out. That's the sort of character development I like to see. Violet Evergarden is a show that knows exactly what it's doing. By pulling your heartstrings and not letting go until the exact right moment to deliver the impact it wants, it takes you on a rollercoaster ride of emotions built up from its music, acting, design and story. With its unique production process and many lives of the incredible team at Kyoto Animation tragically cut short, I highly doubt we will ever see a television anime production as polished and as great as Violet Evergarden in the years to come.
It is a pleasure to meet you. If it is your wish, I will travel anywhere to meet your request. I am Auto Memories doll. Violet Evergarden.